After the defeat at Gaugamela, Darius fled to the mountains, gathering what troops he could. Though keen to pursue him, Alexander first secured the key cities of central Persia. Babylon and the administrative capital Susa offered no resistance, and in so doing avoided any rough treatment from him. The Persian royal palace lay southeast of Susa at the ceremonial capital Persepolis, with mountainous terrain in between. Alexander's general Parmenion took the baggage train along an easier but longer northerly route, whilst Alexander took the shorter route through the mountains. In a high narrow entrance known as the Persian Gates, Alexander encountered a strong Persian force, commanded by the satrap Ariobarzanes. The Persians seemed to be in an unassailable position, but a local shepherd showed Alexander a hidden path which enabled him to outflank and rout them. Defenseless now, Persepolis too surrendered, leaving the Macedonians free to loot its treasury and burn the palace down. Now Alexander was free to take up the pursuit of Darius once more. At camp one night, Alexander received word that Darius had been found bound in golden chains and close to death in a wagon beside the road. Unwilling to run any further, the Persian king had been stabbed and left for dead by his desperate generals. Alexander honored the dead king, burying him with full ceremony and vowing vengeance on his killers. It seemed that all that remained for Alexander's victory to be complete was to subdue what little resistance remained in northeastern Persia. Once that was achieved and garrisons were established throughout the region, his men may have looked to enjoy the fruits of their labor as masters of the known world. Alexander's ambition seems to have found a new focus at this point, and the first seeds of dissent among his men were sown. Decreeing that his men should each take a Persian wife, he seemed intent on integrating the Greek and Persian cultures. He had Parmenion murdered after executing his son for supposed treachery, and in Bactria he killed Clytus during a drinking bout. The core of his army remained loyal, though, even when in 326 BC his attention fixed upon India as his next conquest. In accepting the submission of the Indian city of Taxides, Alexander made an enemy of King Porus, who ruled the lands to the east. Porus gathered an army of perhaps 60,000 infantry, cavalry, chariots, and elephants, and awaited the Macedonians on the far bank of the river Hydaspes. The river Hydaspes, 326 BC. Having conquered the Persian Empire, Alexander persuades his battle-weary army to march deeper into Asia. His army now boasts Persian recruits in the form of the Mardian archers and Scythian horse archers. The way into India is barred by the river Hydaspes, and King Porus guards the river with a huge army. Amongst the Indian army are large numbers of fearsome war elephants. Alexander knows that his army cannot possibly break through such a formidable defense. But several days ago, his scouts discovered another fording point several miles upstream. And Alexander has a plan. He camps his main army in full view of King Porus and spends the next 4 weeks ordering large amounts of troops up and down the river. As expected, Porus follows their movements. Eventually, the Indians grow complacent and ignore the Macedonians. Alexander is now ready to lead a large force across across the unguarded ford and take the fight to Porus.
General! his men fear us! It is time to press the attack! general is slain, and now his men fear us. It is time to press the attack. enemy army is in flight. This is a victory fit for the gods, and they are...
With his army broken, Porus was captured, but Alexander, impressed by his bravery, reinstated him. Porus proved a valuable ally as Alexander sought to pacify the surrounding area. Still, his restless spirit seemed unsatisfied, and it became apparent that he planned to continue on down the Ganges to take the unsettled empire of Magadha. He also voiced plans for a naval expedition back across the Mediterranean to conquer Carthage. This was a step too far for his exhausted men, and an officer, Conus, found the courage to speak for them. When told that his troops would rather return home than continue with him on his road to personal glory, Alexander stalked back to his tent in a rage. After 3 days, the situation remained unchanged, so Alexander bowed to the inevitable and agreed to return home. True to character, though, the homeward route which Alexander chose was not straightforward and presented further opportunity for battle and conquest in the Indus Valley. On reaching the Indus Delta, he assembled a fleet which was to support his land army as it marched westward across the desolate Gedrosian desert. However, the monsoon separated the two forces, and there was great loss of life amongst his men from thirst and heat exhaustion before they reached safety at Susa. Alexander returned to Babylon, intending that the city should become the capital of his new empire. Flushed with success and firmly convinced of his own divinity, Alexander's behavior became increasingly despotic. This, coupled with further measures to mix the Persian and Greek troops and cultures, led to unrest, including a full revolt at Opis. In 323 BC, Alexander's plans for the construction of a fleet to attack Arabia and Carthage were well advanced when he fell ill with a fever. 10 days later, at the age of 32, Alexander died. When asked on his deathbed who was to succeed him, he replied, "The strongest."